are live now. We are live. We are live. Hey, so thank you for joining another session, another episode of Good Trouble. If you're watching this right now and you haven't shared it yet, or if you need to share it, look, we want to give you a couple of seconds to just share this with somebody and let them know that Good Trouble is back on. And guess what? We have the first year experience coordinator for Voorhees College. And so just share that really quickly as you're coming on. And if you're watching this on the playback, even share it then as you're watching and say, hey, man, I got to share this with somebody else. I got to let my family know. I got to let my sisters know. And so we want to make sure that people are aware that Good Trouble is back. We're back with another episode. And so if you guys don't know, I'm Demetrius Dew. I am the experiential learner. I almost said first year experience because I'm not. Just give me 1 second. I don't know why that came out because she's here. And so I'm the experiential learning coordinator and the advisor and coordinator for the international programs. And so that's who I am. And with this Good Trouble podcast, we created this, not just myself, but we created this platform to endeavor to give information to students that is engaging, thought-provoking, and educational. And so today, if you're watching this, just type today, say today, say it to somebody that's in your house, let them know today we have Miss Ma'Asia Timmons from First Year Experience. And so we're excited to have her on, and we're going to let her tell a little bit about herself and what she does before we go into a couple of questions. So Miss Timmons is in your hands.
Hello, everyone. I'm Miss Timmons, the coordinator of First Year Experience, and I'm excited to be here today on the Good Trouble podcast. This movement has been great. So I see you, Mr. Dew. So what do I do? What's my goal? What's my mission? So I am here to build that ideal Voorhees College student, right? So that's helping them with their transition from high school to college. And then also, we can't forget about those transfer students. So again, just giving them a model of what it looks like to be that ideal Voorhees student. And so that's from professional development, putting those events in place to make sure that they are where they need to be as a successful student and things like that. So I'm just excited again to be here today. Thank you, Mr.
So let's jump right into it. And thank you for just that whole introduction. But let's jump right into it, Ms. Timmons. Let's jump right into it. And so you said something about the ideal college student, whether he or she is a freshman or a transfer. And so we know you just came off of a fantastic week, right? It was the finals for First Year Experience. And so let us know about First Year Experience week. How was that? Where did that come from? The ideas. So just let us know a little bit about that, those that are watching, about First Year Experience week.
Absolutely. So First Year Experience week. So I then initially began to get into my mode of what can I do to get the freshmen engaged, also give them some information sessions as opposed to some and then also some professional development tools as well. That's what First Year Experience week was. So we started off, of course, with our FYE kickoff. And so what that looked like was just us having a DJ. I had giveaways. What else did we do? We also had some icebreakers going on. So again, just giving the freshman students the time to get to know each other, get engaged, get some sense of Voorhees pride. So that's what that looked like. And that was just day one.
So let me ask you about day one, because I don't want you to go too fast. We want to make sure that we capture every event, right? So let's talk about day one. And so I know you said you had a DJ and you had activities going on, and that was a Monday. Let's talk about that a little bit. If you can kind of dial into what went into the thought process of having a virtual DJ. I know a lot of people have been doing things like that, but what went into your mind? And then what did you also see from the reactions of the student, whether it was the music that they liked or the music that they never heard? How did that kind of play out?
Bingo. So I think you said it first. I watched other institutions bring about the virtual DJ, and I saw the reaction from their students, and it was great. And so with us, it was the same thing, just being able to connect with their favorite tunes. That's another way of getting the students engaged. And I've learned that, again, just by watching. So I definitely wanted to incorporate that in that FYE kickoff. And like I said, the students were dropping things in the chat, their favorite tunes. The DJ was even interacting with them, making it fun. And so, that's what that looked like with having that virtual DJ. Great component.
Got you. So let's go to the next event, because I want to make sure that we get all the juicy details out of these events, because we want to make sure that our viewers are knowing, hey, if you weren't a part of First Year Experience Week, I think you missed something that you would have want to be a part of. So let's go to the second event. What was the second event like?
So that was day 2, which was chapel. So I just wanted to dedicate that time, day 2, for students to really get tuned in into their spiritual life. And we had the Mr. Demetrius Dude, right, giving us an awesome message. So that was the day for them to tune in and really hone in again on that spiritual side of things. So yeah,
Got you.
virtual chapel.
I'm sure whoever that was, he was pretty good, as you said.
He was awesome, and I think the message was, correct me if I'm wrong,
okay,
the enemy and the inner me.
I think that's it.
Okay.
I think that's it. All right. So let's go to day 3. Let's go to our next event. What was it? I think, if I'm not mistaken, I may be a little bit too ahead of myself, but there was one event that had a slogan or a quote that says, "Be kind to your mind." What day was that event? The "Be kind to your mind."
So that was Friday. Be kind to your mind.
I'm a little bit too fast, so just scratch that one.
A little fast, but it's okay. I'm excited about that too, because that was a great turnout as well. But the next event was the virtual music trivia night. So that's where, again, we had our virtual DJ, and that's where students would just, guess the tunes that he had. Again, another opportunity for them to be engaged, because I did notice, again, that music is probably one of the top 3 ways to reach students now. So that's what that was. Super fun, super exciting. More giveaways.
Yeah. So when we talk about engaging in exciting giveaways, how are students reacting to the giveaways? I know virtually, a giveaway can sound super, attractive, and you may have tons of people coming and saying they want some. So how are they reacting when they figure out they can win, and also not just win, but win a surprise or win a prize?
Oh my goodness, the reactions are priceless, right? So it goes a little something like me saying, so the first person to drop in the chat right now, HBCU Pride, and then they start going crazy. We'll receive a giveaway, and then I'll have them to shoot me their mailing address through my to my email, and then that's normally how I operate that. But students are always excited about giveaways. I mean, who's not? Because I'm always excited about
there we go. Right.
All right. Yeah, so that's exciting. And so those giveaways normally look like, T-shirts, masks, and gift cards, because we love gift cards. At least I know I do. So students are all for giveaways.
Yeah, a good gift card every now and then will make your day a little bit better. So I think we're coming along to the last event of your week.
Absolutely.
And I apologize for going too far, a little bit ahead of myself, but let's talk about that, because I attended that event. The speaker was awesome. The information was great. The title, I think anybody would have wanted to know what exactly is going on, right? And so let's talk about that last event. What went into the creativity to even come up with a slogan like that for people to now say, we're not just talking about this issue from a macro perspective, but I can bring it home to you, right? And make it simplified and make it very personable. And so what went into that creativity when you thought about having this event?
Absolutely. So, of course, we all know that we're living in a time where things are rough and things are frustrating, and not only for just people in the world, but for our students in particular, and them having to deal with the virtual side of things. We know that that's new for them as well. And so mentally, I think a lot of students are struggling. And so my thing was, what can I create, or what kind of outlet can I bring about for students to feel comfortable to come and talk to us, and then just be informed on what to do as far as mental health, how to cope, how to maneuver during this time. And so that's where that came from. So instantly I'm thinking, mental maintenance, so that's how I got the mental maintenance. And then the be kind to your mind, that slogan, don't be so hard on yourself. And so it's okay to, understand that you're going to go through things mentally, and we just have to figure it out and unpackage. And that was one of the things that our awesome speaker hit on. We just have to learn how to unpackage things properly. And so again, be kind to your mind. That was a great event. Students were engaged. We had a great turnout. She gave us a wonderful presentation just on tips, again, on how to mentally be prepared for times such as this and how to cope. So yeah, it was awesome.
Got you. So let's go back a little bit, because you said a lot just then, and I want to just grab small nuggets that I think that people that weren't at the event could glean from in this moment. So you
Absolutely.
said something about unpackaging, right? So what does that look like when you talk about unpackaging? Because we're in this new virtual phase that has now pushed people to now deal with mental issues a little bit sooner and a little bit more aggressive than they probably would have earlier. So let's talk about unpackaging and what does that look like? How can I do it? If I'm dealing with a lot of these mental barriers or overwhelming thoughts, how do I unpackage and what is it?
Absolutely. So I think for me, it's just as simple as literally you can take out a sheet of paper. If you don't have someone to sit next to you and unpackage, right? You can literally take out a sheet of paper and let's start writing these things down. So the first statement could probably be, hey, I'm frustrated. Okay, I'm frustrated. So why are you frustrated? Where does that come from? What spaces or moments are you in to where you are starting to feel frustrated? And so I think that's what unpackaging, looks like. Or hey, I'm overwhelmed. Okay, so writing down things, what's making me feel overwhelmed in this moment?
Yeah.
How can I fix that? Who can I talk to help me figure out, what steps do I need to take to not be overwhelmed? So those things right there are how you unpackage the things that you're going through and such. So yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's such a great point because we haven't heard a lot about unpackaging. We haven't heard
Absolutely.
a lot about the tools too. And I think a lot of times we have discussions about identifying something, but we don't know the tools next to now not only just identify, but to overcome it. And so
Mm,
I think it's great that you begin to share tools with the person being able to write down exactly what they're going through or what they're feeling and then addressing it and assessing that. So even for those that are watching, could you just tell us from your experience, um, you having conversations with people or you having conversations with other people that help people to unpackage? What are some of the stories that you hear from others, like after they went through this unpackaging phase and stage? What are you hearing afterwards? Are they saying this was beneficial? Are they saying I shouldn't have never tried this? I don't know why you told me. Like, so what are they saying? What are the responses that we're getting?
right. And so I work closely with students, just on a mentor basis as well. And I know for one of the students, and I won't share the name, being able to unpackage for her was a relief. And she's like, hey, I'm actually starting to feel some weight off of my shoulders. What is this?
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, that's being able to unpackage. That's you unpackaging all of these things you have built inside of you to now, put on the table and figure out what it really is. And so of course you're going to feel some sense of relief. And I think we all can attest to that. I know for me, again, for sure, if I unpackage, I'm definitely taking a load off of my shoulders. And now I feel that relief into being in that great space or moving into that peaceful space.
Mm. Okay, this is good, man. I think those that are watching, wherever you are watching this, make sure that you have your pen and pad out because the first year experience coordinator is giving some good tips here. And I think if you guys want to have a more successful year, if you want to have a more successful 2020 before we go into 2021, please make sure that you're taking notes. And so I've been taking notes here. I got a couple of things written down that I've been
Uh-oh.
thinking about and just reviewing as she's been talking. We're talking about the ideal student here, right? That first year experience cultivates. We're talking about how to connect and how to engage, right?
Absolutely.
And lastly, we're talking about the importance of unpackaging. And so lastly, as we kind of end this session, Ms. Timmons, what advice would you give the students that are watching? Now, the students that they were talking about, I'm sorry, the students we're
Uh-oh.
talking
Uh-oh.
about are those that are first year students,
Okay.
right? The students that have just graduated from high school in May or June. And from what they saw in their dream first year was being on campus, eating from the caf, fried chicken Wednesday to be exact, eating the cornbread, seeing the Greek stroll, going to the different events. However, that hasn't happened. We're now in this new virtual phase where we have to cultivate differently, we have to
Absolutely.
motivate differently, and we have to now stay focused aggressively. What are you saying to that student that's in their first year that says, this is not what I envisioned, and I'm not sure if I want to continue? What are you saying?
So I think here, Mr. Do, I would like to give it a little spin. So to those students that are thinking like that, you got to think that you are kicking off a whole new wave, a whole new initiative, being completely virtual, because that's not how I came through school. So I think that says a lot. So I think you should give yourself some I think our speaker said it too on Friday, some hand claps, some pats on the back, because you've kicked off a new initiative by being completely virtual, and not everyone is able to do that and maneuver. And so I think that we should now and you students should give yourselves, like I said, a little more accolades so for being able to do that. And it won't always be like that. And I think that's something to keep in mind as well, that we won't forever be, virtual. But then again, on the flip side, like I said, you're doing it. We didn't have to do that, and that's a lot of respect. And so I respect you students that are doing it and still continuing to do it. So again, that would be my advice, is just to come easy, offer yourself. And give yourself some pats on the back, and understand, again, you're kicking off a new initiative for other people to follow along the way as well.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great point, because I think when we think about students now, any student at any capacity, after 2021, learning has become different.
Absolutely.
Literally, we've now stepped into another dimension, not only for learning as far as students, but jobs, industries, everything has now changed, evolved, and become more innovative. And so I think the ability, as you're saying, the ability to look at what you're doing from a different perspective and say, I shouldn't just be stressed out, but I should be patting myself on the back, giving myself accolades that I'm a part of a virtual phase that has never been introduced to the world.
Absolutely. Exactly. Right? I like the way you spelled that out.
Yeah. It's never been introduced to the world until 2020. Somehow I just happen to be a part of it. Right.
Absolutely.
And with me being a part of it, now I can give testimonies or success stories about what I learned. And I think that's a good thing too about what you guys do, or what we do. But what we do is to now cultivate professional development. You said it earlier. And so even with that, professional development looks different virtually.
Absolutely.
You may not have on an entire outfit, but you're from shoulders up, you need to look presentable.
Absolutely.
And being able to now capture the attention of the employer through a video call. So kudos to your statement that we need to give accolades, and this is a time where we can glean, hone in, and create, and be as innovative as possible to be more competitive and competent as we move forward. So any lasting words, Ms. Timmons? I know we've held your time, and I know you probably have tons of things to do, and so we don't want to be a part of that cohort that held you back. So do you have any last words that you want to say to the Good Trouble podcast?
Yes, I just want to say, stay safe. Again, make sure you're wearing your mask, and be encouraged. I think a lot of us need to hear that in this time as well. So as a student, I would like for you to be encouraged. And then again, remember, it won't be like this always. And again, thank you for this opportunity, Mr. Du.
Hey, everybody, it won't be like this always. Make sure, I need to say this because when we go live, we need for you to know. And so make sure you're not only just watching it, but we need for you to subscribe, like, and subscribe. So guess what? When we're going live, that ding, that bell is going to ding. And so you're going to get notified. And so when another speaker comes, that's just like Ms. Timmons, that's doing great things, you'll be able to know. And so thank you for joining Good Trouble. Thank you for watching. John Lewis said it best. He said, if you're going to get in any trouble, make sure that you get in good trouble. And so we need, even now after the election, still getting good trouble, right? Getting good trouble, necessary trouble, because now it's time for us to make change, and you're a game changer. So thank you for tuning in.